What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining. Hope you're having a great one today. As always, we are taking a look at a fun one today. We got the Deluxe. So that's the Darth Vader Deluxe Special Edition from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Also, Sideshow is celebrating their 30th anniversary. Hopefully we can get this little sticker there. There you see it. Anyway, that's the important part. Hopefully that'll work, maybe. Probably not. That's really... There you go. If you want to save 10% off, feel free to steal that little code there. Now, as you can clearly see, I have already taken this out of its hard candy shell. I did what I usually do, which is not a terribly uncommon thing. I unboxed it, and then I was like, wait a minute. That didn't go too well. It took long and wasn't great. So we're just going to kind of start from scratch. I do want to show some of the stuff that's on the actual box because it's kind of cool. So most Hot Toys come with just a generic slip on the outside box at this point with the character portraits and all that stuff. I think they're pretty fancy. They did a cool one with the Darth Vader, so there is that. More importantly, the box on this thing is stunning. So you, of course, get the generic cover right there, which is nothing too special. But once you take that slip off, you get this beautiful thing. And holy moly, did they do a good job with that. Like, that is just one of the coolest pictures I've seen in a while. Super duper cool. Very, very good art. I really enjoy that box art. They did a great job with it. And then, kind of an extra bonus, so a lot of the times with the deluxe ones, they'll do kind of like a fancy little cardboard insert with a nice little foam back on it. And they did a very cool one for the Darth Vader. Got his nice little quote down there. Little detail, if you want to pause it and read, go ahead. It's kind of fun. But honestly, really cool insert. I was impressed by it. More importantly, the figure itself. So again, with the deluxes, they do this really kind of cool packaging thing where they make it look all fancy. They give you this little, kind of outer sleeve that you just can slide right off. And then usually they'll have a little foam waist protector there. All right, so this is the special deluxe edition. There are a few different things that you get with this one, and a whole bunch of different things that I kind of wanted to mention in case you're considering getting it. So first off, with the deluxe, these two parts right here are basically why you would go with the deluxe version. The regular one does not come with the alternate head, nor does it come with the alternate chest plate. So for me, I basically just wanted a regular old Darth Vader figure. I never had gotten one, at least in 6 scale. So getting this with the deluxe, I get a cool LED chest plate that I can swap the battle damage one out, and the normal helmet basically makes for a standard Darth Vader. Now, this part here does attach very, very easy. You just pull the one plate off and put this one on, but you don't get this with the standard version of the figure. It's a small little addition, but to me, made a pretty big impact in the grand scheme of it all. Now, if you do, if you're trying to decide which Vader to get, if you were thinking about getting this one, they do have the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. There's a Vader coming out for that, which I think is way, way cooler. This, by the way, is the little hologram projector of the Inquisitor, which is kind of a fun little accessory. It's also one of the, I believe this is just the special edition add-on that you get. Either way, kind of fun. But the Return of the Jedi one, it's a little bit more expensive. Standard Vader, you do get a cool, helmetless head sculpt, and then you also get one that's being shocked by the Force lightning, so it's got that kind of blue glow. Definitely a cool one, though. Now, with this one, you get a ton of different hands, which I absolutely loved. Just going to kind of take a quick look there. Yep, got some schmutz on it. Really did a good job with the gloves overall. They're all painted pretty dang well. And you get a bunch of different options. Basically, different Force poses, things to hold the lightsabers, all of that good stuff. The figure itself is amazing. if I can get him out of here. There we go. I still have some of his little foam on. So he has these goofy little covers on his face and then a little foam neck guard there. I'll pull that off. Apparently I'll pull it off right now. Get out of here. The plastic can stay there. Now the Vader head sculpt that they did for this is awesome. So this is with his fight with Obi-Wan from the TV show. And man, oh man, does that look cool. They just did an absolutely outstanding job. Even doing the battle damage on the inside of the helmet. And really just the damage to his head. Like, everything about that is just absolutely incredible. I was not a huge fan of the show and really didn't care much about this head sculpt when they announced the figure. But now that I've got it and seeing it, it is gorgeous. And I may end up, leaving him battle damage, pose him up this way. Might be fun to have him battling Darth Maul or Ahsoka, or honestly, I was kind of thinking it'd be cool to have him posed against Guts with like the Godslayer sword just kind of wedged right in there. But who knows? We'll see. The suit itself does not restrict motion too much at all. You get a good amount of wiggle with it. One thing I was kind of sad with mine is it did have this pretty nasty crease in the elbow right out the box. Not the end of the world by any means, but kind of a bummer. Now, one thing I have heard with the Vaders, depending on the climate that you are in, this part of the suit can kind of flake and deteriorate over time, so it is something you might want to be mindful about. Now, you probably noticed these fun little wires here. So that's one of the newer features that Hot Toys has started doing, which this will be my first one with them, but basically those are going to plug in to a little adapter that you clip on his back, and that's going to power all of the LED functions for him. So you won't have to use those goofy little cell batteries. You'll instead plug them in to a little power box that's powered by USB. And with this, it's going to light up both of those panels and that. And then one of his lightsabers, which we will take a quick look at. Now, one thing to be mindful of, they do not include the USB cord. So it does say which one you need to get in the instructions, but you do need to actually get a separate USB cord to power the fellow, which was kind of depressing. He does, of course, have a bigger cape, which I have not pulled out yet. I don't want to cover him up too much. We'll just slide that on over there. Now, with the Deluxe, you do also get this big, beautiful light-up base. And again, this just kind of works for people like me that want more of a standard Vader look. It's really nothing too special. It's just kind of a basic, almost looks like an Imperial starship floor, like the floor of the Death Star. This whole spot here will light up. It is also USB powered. You plug it in right there and flip it on with that. But definitely a cool one. Probably going to be the one that I use. They do also give you this one here. And this, I haven't pulled it out of the packaging, but if you were to get the Obi-Wan and do their little showdown or pose them together, you'd want to use this. Obi-Wan also has like a rock base, so you could do the little levitating rock thing and all of that stuff. So you could kind of match them up that way. This I might end up using for a different figure because it's pretty generic rocky base. But I think I'm going to stick with that fellow for the Vader itself. For the lightsabers, there's a couple things with these that threw me off. You do get both of Reva's, or at least Reva's split in half. Anyway, you get Reva's lightsabers, so he can kind of, plug in and dual wield if you wanted. I was hoping that these would be light up. They are not, which is kind of a bummer. The only one that does light up is going to be one of the Vader ones that you get. It's kind of depressing, but not the end of the world. Honestly, I didn't hate Reva, but I didn't like her enough to want to get a hot toy of her, so I'm probably never going to actually use those. But I digress. Now, the Vader saber hilt, you get two of them. So you get this one that's plugged into the actual power cable. This would be for the light-up version if you wanted to use it. And then you get one that does not have the little cable attached. One thing I am kind of concerned about with these, you're supposed to, once you undo the cord, basically lay the cord along the sides so that he's holding, like that. And then both the cord and that part of the handle would be in his hand. I worry that this cord's just going to wear down and, get damaged, break, snap, something like that over time. And then you're stuck with a lightsaber that doesn't light up, unless you're good at soldering wires, which, more power to you. But it is one of the small concerns that I have. Not the end of the world by any means, but just something I'm kind of worried about. And then what they actually did to give it power, like I said, there is this little USB pack here. So this guy would just clip onto his back, snaps right onto the belt. Get the different options there. It's got a nice little Hot Toys brand on it, which is fun. And then you plug the USB into that. Most people are going to have a charger cable that'll actually work for that. I'm going to use my phone charger because it fits, or at least get another one that'll fit. Not too hard to come by, but you do need to get an extra one. And then all of the different wires that are on Vader will plug into those. So the two on the back and then the one for the lightsaber. So they did a pretty good job of putting that all together. I'm going to be interested to see how it does. Also very interested to see how it holds up in the long run. But certainly seems like a cool way to go. Lightsaber blades, you get a motion one and then a longer one for the actual Vader. And then you get two of the same size blade for the Reva ones, just so they match. So that's pretty much it with this fella. Honestly, I am quite happy with it. If I were given the option, I would probably get the Jedi Vader over this. When I had pre-ordered this one, the Return of the Jedi one wasn't announced yet. It is a little bit more expensive, but I like Jedi a lot more than Obi-Wan. A whole lot more than Obi-Wan.